So here we are, Apex Legends. We're 4 years old and we're still adding legends. Hello, I'm FirePug. If you guys are new, welcome to my channel. In this video we're going to be talking about will Respawn ever stop adding characters to the game? Well, actually we're going to be talking about why they should stop adding characters to the game. And I got two main reasons for this. Without wasting any time, the first reason is there can only be so many characters in this game before the whole character selection thing just becomes a whole mess. Think of it this way. With the loot pool and the weapons, you can only have a certain amount of weapons on the ground in the loot pool before it gets too jumbled and it's not a nice loot pool that plays well. Otherwise, you have to start putting weapons in something like the replicator and the care package to take them out of the loot pool and put them somewhere else. Maybe even take them out of game modes or certain seasons entirely, because there is a balance there that you have to maintain. Now I think when it comes to the characters people are able to play, I think it's going to be the same way, and I think we're rapidly approaching the point where it's going to be too many players. A lot of abilities to keep track of, and it really does quickly become a mess, especially if we keep adding legends to this game. Personally, I haven't played like the last 8 or 9 legends seriously a lot, and I don't even really know how to play the last 4 or 5 of them. And that is mostly, and I think a lot of older players, not all, but some of those Season 0, Season 1, Season 2 players kind of just stopped playing the new legends like a year or 2 years ago. We'd like try them out and then just kind of toss them off to the side and never play them again. So I think it has already become a giant mess, this character selection thing. However, most of the people I've talked to have a pretty mixed view on this. They agree it is going to become a mess, and we are rapidly approaching the point where it's going to be way too many. However, a new legend is a big part of what makes a new season a new season. And taking away the new legend part of a new season, it's kind of, it subtracts from like the hype, and there's less new things you can try out, and the new season's more like little changes and not anything big, and I totally get that. A new legend is definitely a breath of fresh air in this game every few months. However, I think there are other things we can do to fill that desire in the player base. Stuff like in LTM, it used to be new weapons. However, I think we're approaching our limit there as well. Maybe map changes, new maps, maybe, like I said, new modes, but maybe updates, changes to those modes. It's not an easy thing to do, but I think there are ways. And I think by taking those other routes, you can satisfy the player base, but also keep the character selection thing at balance. Now, the next reason is this whole lore and storyline thing about these Apex Legends characters is an awesome thing. Really makes the game what it is, really unique. It's nice for the players to understand the backstory of the character they're playing. And also, kind of, there's a little bit of mystery there as we start to learn more things, and Respawn themselves develops these storylines and is able to tell a story along with their game. That's awesome. It was awesome. However, now it's kind of like, in my opinion, a waste of time and a giant mess that no one can keep track of. Now, what inspired me to start this YouTube channel, I started it back at the end of Season 4, started Season 5, was a lot of people were getting the story wrong on Revenant when he was getting added, and I didn't want people to get the story wrong on Loba. I knew the Titanfall 2 storyline because I played those games, and I just wanted to be able to help tell those stories better, understand things, and help the player base understand things from a Titanfall perspective for these new players that were just only playing Apex. And I continue to do that for other legends, like especially Ash was a big one, Valk. But I would try to tell the story of all these legends and how some of their stories would interact, and that was kind of an easy and fun thing to do for the first 2 years of this game. However, now that we have all these new legends being added, it is so hard to track these storylines and keep track of them that I literally stopped doing them like a year and a half ago. there are new storylines being created with every new legend. That means you have to remember the new storyline, remember how this new storyline interacts with the other storylines that already exist, and then not to mention all the storylines that aren't getting finished because there just isn't time to tell that many stories about what's going on. So we have stories left untold that are, over 2 years long, or from over 2 years ago. And some of those stories just might never find a happy ending, or if they do, Respawn does try to find a way to tie the end of that rope. It might end up being some sort of cheap little quick ending, not something we really care about. Which I think is a disservice to what the whole lore means to the player base of this game. Because that was definitely, as I said, one of the things that really made this game what it was. So, those are the really main two reasons. Keeping track of the lore with all these characters, and then just the character selection being a mess. And it's hard to play the game when you got 50 different abilities to think about what's going on. You go ahead, let me know what you think down in the comments. But that's all I got for this one. Thank you all for watching. I will see you later.